Woodman, greetings from very nice weather finally. A few days of rain were terrible, and now it's all good. How am I doing? That's alright. It's finally 25, 24, 3 Celsius. Feels absolutely great. Not humid. And this means there are lots of kids in the park. I think that's just a school that came here. They're running everywhere. Must evade. Walk some other way. I smell the ginkgo rotting. Ginkgo nuts. Gosh, what a terrible smell. It's the worst smell of autumn there is. Gosh, there is some preschool over there too. Oh, I got my ants, yeah. They are Aphenogaster famelica. Very beautiful, long-legged ants. I fed them a mealworm yesterday. They've been munching. And my other ants, I tried to feed them, and they escaped. I had to use brush to brush them back in. It was terrible. So both are fun watching. I hope they're still there, my gosh. It's good I double checked because it was night, and I looked at them first, and then I closed the thing and didn't look. And then I looked again, and I was shocked that they are outside of the test tube. So now I'll see if they go to sleep. The new ones I got, the Aphenogaster famelica, are supposed to not sleep in the winter. Can't wait to feed them chicken or whatever, Gosh, there's lots of kids. I don't know where to go anymore. I'm surrounded. Beautiful sky. Maybe I'll cut in this way. This is when nice weather comes, then people are everywhere. And when it's sunny, it's much better. The ones sleep in the winter. I don't feed them. They don't eat. Interesting evolutionary thing, right? That most of the insects always hibernate, but there are some that just slow down. But they don't do anything during winter, the other ones. You can just observe. It's like bees, bees don't do anything in the winter either. Oh, airplane coming. blue skies. You know, bees also don't eat anything in the winter. They eat a lot in the autumn and then they just rest. Oh, forgot to tell you, I'm gonna get my flight controls. I'm gonna be flying on my simulator. 2 simulators, Microsoft Flight Simulator and Digital Combat Simulator. That one has military planes. I'm still contemplating on getting these. Go for it, man. It's like you would have so much fun and honey from it. The extractor is the most expensive. Everything else is okay. And when I last checked, it was so easy to get bees in Canada. You only apply and they ship them in a tube by post. Very cool. Then you just unload it. Oh, what was that? No, that's a motorbike, not an airplane. Oh, under construction here. Maybe they're trimming these crazy trees. I would love to have a flight simulator. Do you have yours on a desktop lab? Yeah, desktop, definitely desktop. But the most important thing are those controls. Without them, you know, you can't really fly properly, at least. I remember when the flight simulator was so simple, like version 3 or 4. It was just so much fun to play. And I really liked the helicopter simulations. So eventually I'll end up, you know, getting the controller for the helicopter and try flying those. Microsoft controls, I don't know what that is. I don't think Microsoft makes any, what do you call it, HOTAS, hands on stick and throttle. Pretty much for these games you need something that you can control the throttle and then separate device for the joystick to fly the airplane. But you know, there's so many controllers. There are a few companies that make really good stuff, but they are also very pricey. You know, you can spend $500 on a joystick, but then you can you can build your own cockpit. You can buy panels for it, like for example, like autopilot panel from the normal passenger planes. Those things are pretty much similar. Then there's some military planes where you can get extra panels for those. Fortunately, Microsoft Flight Simulator is just more geared for the non-military planes. But the Digital Combat Simulator, that is really detailed. They have planes that are just, what do you call it? I forgot how they call it. They just don't... you cannot control everything in that plane. But if you buy the full plane, which I think costs maybe around $100, almost everything is simulated. And in some of them, all the systems are simulated. It's like real stuff. It comes with like a 1,000-page manual. Like, F-15, all the stuff that is still, declassified. The latest stuff you probably cannot get. but anything else is okay. You know, some old Soviet airplanes, like old Sukhoi. That plane was like the best, matching the F-15. But now, you know, the version of that plane is Su-50 or something. It's very advanced, and I think United States put what do you call it? Not the Russians. You know, when they don't pay you money. Sanctions on Russia, and they cannot assemble these airplanes now easily. But still, you know, even if you fly just one of those planes that they have in there, the cheap type, where you cannot press every single button in them. Whoa. Great Asian Hornet is trying to follow a butterfly, but no, it's just flying around. It's like a helicopter. Solid. Flew away. Here's a spider. You know, also, you know, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you don't have the simulation of a crash or some, you know, physical failure. But the Digital Combat Simulator has that. I mean, you can have one engine on fire and something chipped from your wing, but you can still fly in a way. And then it's fun because you have to learn about all these bombs. You can learn about the Russian bombs, you can learn about the American bombs. The missiles are also simulated. There's this A-10 Warthog airplane. That's American. That one is fully simulated. I mean, it's one of those air-to-ground attack airplanes. Not air-to-air really, so bombs and stuff, but with jet engines, you know, these airplanes. It's pretty cool to fly that machine. Yeah, I have both. The Digital Combat Simulator is free, and you just keep on buying whatever you like. So if you want to fly F-15, you buy F-15. And if you want to fly, I think they even have F-18 right now, but probably the radar is somehow not fully emulated because it's, you know, secret. And then I have a whole bunch of other airplanes that you've never heard of, and they're still used. So it's cool stuff to learn. You can learn, you know, this takeoff and landing. There's just so much in them, so much detail. This really works if you are the airplane enthusiast. But people, you know, they start with these flight controls, and then they start building the whole pilot seat and extend the stuff, build the panels in, build maybe 2 more monitors so you can see from left and right. You add a head tracker so that when you tilt your head, you can see, you know, you can see what's behind your plane without any button pressing. So like if you are fighting or flying somewhere, you can actually see where the guy is by looking somewhere. I think one of those American systems have a helmet, not a, like, what do you call it, a visor cue. So there's a visor mounted into the helmet, and you can search with your head for the for the enemy airplane, and you can lock the radar on it just by looking at it without orienting your aircraft to lock onto that. And I don't know, if you download the Digital Combat Simulator, there are maybe few planes that are free that come with it. You can kind of see, I don't know if there was one really old airplane. They even have, Second World War airplanes, and I think maybe First World War. Like they are really clunky, my gosh. Compared to the stuff now, where the computer is actually flying the airplane, those things are just so tricky. It's completely overwhelming. It's actually easier to fly the modern airplane than one of those machines back then. Yeah, exactly. When there was the Cold War with the Russia a long time ago, so Russia was making Sukhoi, the airplane, and we were making what, F-15 or something. This was like arms race. Who's gonna get the best airplane, and which airplane will have better evasion or radar reflections, or not reflections, the opposite, stealth. So this was big secret back then. And they always modify these airplanes. Like, can you imagine how many people had to work on it, and how were they testing it? I think Gagarin, the first man in space, the Russian, he was the airplane tester. Incredible. How many mistakes did they have to do? These airplanes, the modern military airplanes, they have whole computer systems that keep them stable. So you pretty much are not you don't do the flight by wire, you fly through the computer. It's stabilized in a special way. Does Russia have a stealth airplane? I'm sure they do. I bet, the Sukhoi 50 something, if you look up, it's an amazing machine. Even if you go back to like the Sukhoi from 1970s, that thing is just cool. It's almost like very similar to American airplanes from that era. But maybe they were stealing each other's ideas and they ended up with similar things. If you get the Sukhoi airplanes, everything is in Russian there. All the missiles, all the labels in the cockpit, and thousands of buttons. That's all in Russian. So you have to learn Russian to fly them, kind of. But I think it's easy to know what is what. Faster than American, yeah, the speed was also important. And I don't know, a long time ago there was a game called F-19 Stealth Fighter. This game came out when United States had a stealth fighter, but nobody knew how it even looks like and how it's done, how it's made. Spider. And after that came I think Lockheed F-117A, and that one is like an upgraded simulator to the real one, to the one before that. And you can see the shape and the strange angles that they reflect the radar away from the airplane, and the hidden exhaust that comes from the engine, so you cannot easily lock the infrared seeking missiles on it. It's amazing. But you know, now this technology is known to everybody. I think the airplane is still used for like training of pilots only. It's been too long, you know. Maybe it was popular in the 90s, but it looks like a UFO. You'll be really surprised if you see it. It's like a triangle flying in the air. I went to an airplane show and they would not display the stop airplanes. Then they started doing flyovers. Oh, really? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like here, when I went to the space campus, you know, the space, Japanese JAXA is the space agency like NASA in US. I went to their campus and they had a little museum there. So they had a section where you could take, you know, videos and photos. But they also had a section where it was kind of secret. you should not take any photos of. And that was not even, you know, anything military. Yeah, but having these simulators is so awesome. So like, you know, when the computer is stabilizing your airplane and you are going, you know, faster than the speed of sound. There was also a thing where in the Russian airplanes they added an option where you could disable that fly-by not fly-by-wire, the other one, fly-by-computer, I guess, and you could do the Cobra maneuver. Maybe Top Gun has it or something. Like if one plane is chasing another plane, the first plane can shoot up and do a Cobra style shape like this. Like it goes like this and like this and like this. And that slows it down significantly. That the guy who follows him, he goes straight ahead. And this guy is now at the back of this guy. But you cannot do it if you have the computer enabled. And it's really risky if you do it incorrectly. If you are, you know, you could just damage the whole aircraft. Cobra. No, it's called because of some Russian guy who invented it. Something. There's a Russian name in that Cobra maneuvers. I forgot. Top Gun, yeah, probably was exploited on Top Gun. But you know, really cool thing from those times is Firefox. Is it Clint Eastwood playing in that one? I don't remember. I saw it when I was a kid. That is like, you know, those times. Everybody has, you know, have all the secrets. All the airplanes are secret. I have to rewatch that movie. It's been so long. And it was a really excellent movie. And of course, you know, these planes go so fast these days. Like you cannot exceed the G's because you lose consciousness. So this is the limit. And limit of humans only. I don't remember the Firefox. Yeah. Search for it. It's like 80s movie, and it's, you know, during the Cold War, so there's definitely, you know, US versus the Soviet Union. It's a movie about they sent a US pilot to Soviet Russia to steal one of their prototype, probably fictional airplanes. And he gets chased by another Russian guy I think it's Clint Eastwood. It's gotta be Clint Eastwood. And then if you want a good war movie, but from the Second World War with Clint Eastwood, the what was it called? Only for Eagles, or Were Eagles There? That's the English title for that one. That one is so good. I think it's a 70s, 60s movie. That's hilarious. It's really good. Were Eagles There? I think it's one of the good movies, like best movies. Can't wait to be flying. For the DCS, they have like I think it's the most serious simulator that there is these days. If you learn one of these things, you probably can fly a real airplane. What's happening over there? There's tape around the tree. I guess maybe a hornet's nest. Oh yeah, I can see them flying. Hornets from the ground. They're right in this tree. And they're waiting for them to die for the winter. It's good they put that thing around. I walked here so many times and oh, there are like helicopters coming up. I didn't even realize that there is a nest here. Maybe there was a oh, one came back. Ah, they're in the ground. That's as close as I can get there. I'm not gonna get any closer. One is actually walking there. Ooh. Wonder how many of them are in there. They're eating something. Oh, take off. Maybe they're just eating. Doesn't look like it's an active nest or anything. Oh yeah, it's an active nest. They are in there. I remember the name Were Eagles There, but I don't think I watched. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Nazis and Americans. It's a really long movie too, I think. Oh well. Oh, another one is coming out. Yeah, it's a nest. Anyway, let me zoom out. I'm gonna go. Thanks for joining. Have a nice, fantastic Friday tomorrow. And stay safe. Away from the hornets. Oh god, one is flying this way. Oh, it's flying that way. I can see them very far away. I can still see the hornet over there. Oh my gosh, it's like watching birds. So, take care and bye for now. Scoping down.